Now, I'm going to ask those three questions all over again, and then I'm going to go into more detail with those questions. Number one was, has your revenue taken a dip because you're not attending live conferences? Now, I've been told that this is the case by many speakers because of cancellations of live events. As I said, nobody's getting on an airplane or staying at hotels right now. Because of COVID 19, we can't do any large gatherings right now. There's no way to maintain a 6 foot distance at a full conference. Now, Zoom is extremely popular now with all virtual events and people working from home. Of course, there's other streaming events besides Zoom. There's one webinar and too many for me to mention, but Zoom is popular, so I'm going to talk about Zoom. Consider doing webinars or holding your own virtual conferences from the comfort of your home. Get on podcast shows for visibility. They are definitely out there. When I say they, I'm talking about podcast shows. Now is the time to be creative. There are thousands of podcast shows that cater to your audience or your niche, so you should not have any problems finding one that is in your speaking niche. You just need to do your due diligence on finding them. Or better yet, you can hire me to help you find podcast events. Hosts on podcast events are always looking for someone to fill their time slots and educate their audience. If you have written a book, what better way to promote it than on a podcast show and build your email list at the same time? If you're having an upcoming webinar or a virtual conference, what a great platform to advertise your upcoming event. Just because you're not doing any in-person events doesn't mean that you should be sitting on your fanny and not being visible. And think about all the money that you will save right now because you're not paying for traveling, staying at hotels, and dry cleaning expenses. Number two, how difficult has it become to find your audience online? You can use Facebook to find your audience online. Yeah, I was kind of surprised about that too. But Facebook will give you a whole range of ideas of how to find your audience online. What you need to do is you need to go to Facebook Insights. Now, Facebook Insights, as I said, will give you a ton of information on your audience. But the only way you can get to Facebook Insights, you must have a business page in order to see that information. Once you get to Facebook Insights, you want to click on people. Now you'll find that word people on the left-hand side of the page, plus a whole lot of other information on the left-hand side of the page that you can get from Facebook Insights. You will see who your fans are, what percentage of women are liking your post, and what percentage of men are liking your post. So once you see that information, you will know who your audience is. You will see what countries and what states they live in, also what languages they speak. Insights also let you know the most popular page of your popular age, of your followers. Insight will also let you know when is the best time to reach your audience because you can see what times they are online. You can also use Twitter by connecting to your Twitter followers dashboard. If you have a website, and you should, and you have Google Analytics connected to your website, and Google Analytics will let you know who your audience is. It gives you about the same information as Facebook Insights, but Google Analytics will give you more detail than Facebook Insight. And number three is, are you challenged with finding your audience online? After all of the tips that I gave you above regarding how difficult it is to define your audience online, you shouldn't be challenged anymore. Now, I will give you some tips or food for thought. In other words, some will be in question form. Check out your competitors. What groups do they belong to? What keywords are they using to find their audience online? You can find out a lot by checking out your competitors. What groups do they belong to? What keywords are they using? See if they're missing something that you know that you can fill. See what keywords they are using to attract their audiences. Do you have your own business page on Facebook? Keep track of who follows you and views your pages. Is it men who are following you? Is it women? What are you posting that is attracting and getting the most engagement? Join Facebook groups on Facebook related to your industry or your target audience. Ask to join groups and contribute to the conversation. Be visible. Watch the groups and see what kind of information they are sharing. See what kind of questions that people are asking in the group and answer those questions. People will start to notice you. What is the value that you offer that your competitor is not? That is where you will need to do your research by checking out your competitors and finding out what loopholes are missing and you can fill.